Alright, hopefully you took a look at the first video where I showed you how StatCrunch could help you to create a frequency distribution by using histograms. If not, go back and take a look at that. Now I want to do a complete walkthrough through one of these problems. Okay, this is problem 13 from Module 2, Lesson 1 in my Math 151 class. So what they want us to do here is they want us to take some data on how many children that world leaders have. Okay, so we click on the data here, and maybe before we click on the data, they want us to use 6 classes. Now we learned from the last video that classes are sometimes called bins, right? So we need to create 6 separate bins. And they got it all kind of organized there for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes all ready to go for us, correct? All right, and then create a frequency distribution from those classes. All right, so let's see these world leaders and how many kids they have. All right, so there it is. Let's make that data useful, because right now it's just a blob of numbers. Let's see if we can get that to be useful by uploading it in a StatCrunch. By now, you know to click on the top right-hand box, open in StatCrunch, get that data in a StatCrunch. Let's see what we got here. We got how many world leaders? Pretty good set. We got 43 world leaders. Okay. The first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and sort this. We want to sort it ascendingly. So some have 0 children, so that's the smallest, all the way up to the largest, which is 16. I'm not judging. All right, so here we go. How do we find the class width? Okay, class width. It is the range. So the range is the maximum value minus the minimum value. And then divide that by the number of classes. So in this case, our maximum value was 16, our minimum value was 0, and they wanted 6 classes. Okay, so 16 divided by 6, let's see what that is. Whatever it is, we're going to round up. 16 divided by 6 is 2.6 repeating. So we're going to round that up to 3, okay? So the class width is going to be 3. Now that's going to be important to StatCrunch when we go to that histogram. Let's go to the histogram, graph, histogram. You want the first variable, that's where all of our data is in the first variable. We want it to start at our smallest value, which is 0, and there's our class width. Our class width we said was 3, okay? And then we can go ahead and compute that. Now already I know what's useful is the majority of the leaders have observations to the left, right? This is skewed right because most of the observations are to the left. Okay, one of the things I forgot to do is I forgot to put the frequencies on top. So let me go ahead and put the frequencies on top by hitting view value over bar. There's the frequencies. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to start to create my little table here. And so my class, my frequency. I don't know if they ask for relative frequency, but I'll give it to them anyways. All right, let's do it. So what's my first class? My first class ranges from 0 to 2. And like I said last time, that 3 has the parentheses, so it means it doesn't include 3, so it goes to 2. The frequency is 13. I'll get the relative frequencies later. The next one, from 3 to 5. The next one from 6 to 8. The next from 9 to 11, 12 to 14, and the last class is from 15 to 17. And then I can just write down the frequencies. Okay, so there it is, and then I can get relative frequencies by editing, and instead of frequency, go to relative frequency. I don't even know if they asked us for that, but might be nice to have, right? Write down the relative frequencies. So like 60%, right? 60% have between 0 and 5 children. So pretty good chunk. I guess maybe even something better we can say is over 80% have less than what? Have less than 9 kids, between 0 and 8 children. And then the remaining percents, okay, so there it is. There's my relative frequencies. A lot of times I say percents, but those percents are just in decimals. So that's okay. All right, so we should be able to fill those out now. I should be able to go to the homework and fill those out. Fill out the classes. This isn't very exciting to watch, but what did they ask for here? The midpoint. Okay, so I'm going to have to go back and get the midpoints. I'll get the midpoints eventually, but right now let me just fill this in. Okay, so there's all that. Now I need to go back and I need to get the midpoints. I did not see that coming. All right. So the midpoint, just the average between the low end and the high end of the classes. So we add them together and divide by 2. So 0 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 plus 8, or sorry, 3 plus 5 is 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Add those two together is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Add those two together, that's 20 divided by 2, which is 10. Add those two together, that gives you 28 divided by 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. What's this? This is going to be 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. All right, hopefully I did those mental calculations correct. We're about to find out. If I didn't, wouldn't be the first time I didn't do mental calculations, right? But we'll see. All right. What did I do wrong there? I can see a pattern. Maybe not. Oh, goodness. Where did I go wrong? Let me just double check these entries. Those look good. That's halfway, that's halfway, that's halfway, that's halfway, that's halfway, that's halfway. There it is right there. Then type in the first frequency correct. One little mistake did it, right? All right. And then from there we can match up the frequency graph to the frequency table. So it looks like the highest frequency is 13 and 13. So we got lots of frequency on top, and then it tails down. So we got 2 13s, and then it drops down. So that looks like it's going to be it. All right, so what did we say? We said most of the world leaders have fewer than 6 children. I would say that that would be it. All right, hope that walkthrough helps. See you next time.